Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. Well, by now you may have seen the New York Times reporting. The headline, Russia secretly offered Afghan militants bounties to kill U.S. troops. Donald Trump, we learned from the article, has known about this for months. He was briefed about it back in March. And yet Donald Trump still holds up Vladimir Putin as his best friend, his trusted ally, his man. Donald Trump still sings Putin's praises. You know, in a very real sense, Donald Trump puts his relationship with Vladimir Putin above the safety, the security, the very lives of our men and women in military uniform. Just when you think you can't be surprised at the depths of Donald Trump's depravity, he shocks us. He shocks the U.S. But I guess maybe we could have seen this coming. It all started with Russia, if you're listening.
I will tell you this. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press. Let's see if that happens. That'll be next. Yes, sir.
And after Donald Trump invited Russian interference in our elections, he then gave Vladimir Putin aid and comfort in Helsinki when, after being briefed by our intelligence community leaders that Russia had indeed interfered in our elections, what did Donald Trump say about it standing next to Vladimir Putin in Helsinki?
Would you now, with the whole world watching, tell President Putin, would you denounce what happened in 2016, and would you warn him to never do it again?
All I can do is ask the question. My people came to me, Dan Coates came to me, and some others. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be. I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today.
And you know, there's another incident that we don't talk about quite as much as Russia, if you're listening, or Trump's horrific performance in Helsinki. You remember the acting director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, revealed that during an Oval Office briefing with the leaders of our intelligence community, they were telling Donald Trump about the threat to America posed by the North Korean ballistic missile system. Donald Trump said, no, I've spoken to Vladimir Putin. He has a different opinion, and I believe Putin. And then think back for a moment about the findings of the Mueller report, right? In Volume 1, Bob Mueller found sweeping and systematic interference in our 2016 presidential election by Russia. And he found that Donald Trump and the Trump campaign welcomed the assistance. Welcomed? I'll go one step further. They commissioned it. They encouraged it. Donald Trump was the catalyst for it. Hey, Russia, if you're listening. Oh, they were listening. But when we look at Volume 2, I suggest that Volume 2 shows sweeping and systematic interference in the Mueller investigation by Donald Trump when he committed as many as 10 felony federal obstruction of justice crimes, trying to cover up his own wrongdoing, trying to nefariously and corruptly end the Mueller investigation. And yet Donald Trump has never been held to account. He wasn't convicted in the Senate trial after he was impeached in the House. He's never been arrested, indicted, tried, convicted, or imprisoned, notwithstanding his many, many crimes. You know, I would suggest that just as our failure to hold Richard Nixon accountable for the crimes he committed against the United States gave birth to Donald Trump, it also can be argued that the Republicans' failure to hold Donald Trump accountable by convicting him in the Senate trial for the many crimes he committed gave birth to an American president who is best friends with a foreign leader who has now, we know, put bounties on the heads of U.S. troops. What now? Well, I read today a tweet that was sent out by Eric Holder, the former Attorney General for the United States. And he said, quote, "A sitting president can be indicted," close quote. Now, full disclosure, Eric Holder was the first person ever to hire me as a federal prosecutor. You may not know, but before he was Attorney General, he was the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, and he hired me as one of his federal prosecutors. Before that, he was a judge in the D.C. Superior Court, where we tried local crime cases in Washington, D.C. But Eric Holder's opinion as former U.S. Attorney is that you can indict a sitting president. You know, and we have to ask ourselves, does the Department of Justice Office of Legal Counsel memo, the OLC memo, saying we don't think it's a good idea to indict a sitting criminal president, does that hold? Should that hold? Remember, there's no law, there's no statute, there's no appellate court opinion, and there's no provision in the Constitution that says you can't indict a sitting criminal president. Should that opinion hold? Should that memo dictate that even if an American president has the kind of relationship with a foreign adversary that allows for that foreign adversary to put bounties on the heads of American soldiers, nothing we can do about it, folks, because you can't indict a sitting president. I want to finish where I started with the New York Times headline: Russia secretly offered bounties to kill U.S. troops. And Donald Trump's silence is deafening. Please stay safe, folks. I'll talk with you all tomorrow.